Most people can hold one big desire in their mind without flinching. 2, and they start leaking conviction. 3, and the whole thing collapses into a vague soup of wanting where nothing feels real anymore. If you've been trying to call in a new career, a relationship, financial freedom and a body you feel alive in, all at the same time, and secretly wondering if you're being greedy, that guilt is the actual problem. Your capacity to hold multiple large manifestations has a ceiling, and that ceiling is set by something most manifestation advice completely ignores. We're going to talk about what actually sets it, how to raise it, and why the people who manifest big across every area of life aren't doing more work than you. They've just solved a structural problem you haven't identified yet. Think about the last time you tried to focus on 2 big goals simultaneously. You probably noticed a strange tug of war. You'd get momentum on one, and the other would start feeling distant, almost fake. Like your belief had a budget, and spending it on one dream left the others underfunded. That experience is real, and it has a mechanical explanation. Your subconscious processes intention the same way your body processes food. There's a digestion capacity. Throw one meal at it, efficient absorption. Throw 5 meals at it simultaneously, and most of the nutrition passes straight through. The issue was never the quantity of food. The issue was timing, preparation, and the strength of the system doing the absorbing. So the question becomes, how do you strengthen the system? The first thing to understand is that most people stack their desires like a to-do list. Career goal at the top, relationship goal underneath, health goal somewhere in the middle, financial goal scribbled in the margin. Each one lives in its own mental compartment. Each one carries its own emotional charge, and each one competes with the others for your belief, your attention, and your energetic bandwidth. This compartmentalized approach is the default, and it's exactly what creates the sensation of being spread too thin. People who hold space for multiple manifestations without cracking do something structurally different. They unify. Every desire gets threaded through a single identity, a version of themselves where all of these things coexist naturally. The career, the relationship, the body, the money. They stop being 4 separate wishes and become 4 symptoms of one person. That person becomes the focus. The manifestations become side effects. This is a meaningful shift in architecture, and it changes everything about how belief gets distributed. When you're holding 4 separate intentions, your subconscious has to maintain 4 separate believability assessments. Can I really get this promotion? Can I really find that partner? Can I really hit that number? Each one gets stress tested individually, and each one can fail individually, dragging your overall state down with it. But when all 4 are attributes of a single unified self-concept, your subconscious only has to answer one question: can I become this person? One believability assessment, one conviction to maintain, one flame to keep lit instead of 4. The practical shift looks like this. Instead of visualizing each outcome separately, the corner office, the partner, the bank balance, the mirror reflection, you build one scene that contains all of them. A morning in your life where you wake up in the home next to the person, check the account with calm instead of dread, and head to work you chose because it lights you up. One scene, one identity, one emotional signature that encompasses everything. Now, a reasonable objection here: doesn't this risk making the visualization too complex? Too busy? If you're trying to cram every detail of every desire into a single mental movie, yes, that's overwhelming. The key is abstraction. You don't need to see the specific kitchen tile or the exact job title on the door. You need to feel the emotional through line of a person whose life includes all of these elements. Calm, chosen, full. The feeling is the carrier signal. The details fill themselves in. There's a second structural problem that trips people up, and it's subtler. When you hold multiple big desires, your timeline expectations fracture. You might believe the money could come in 6 months, but the relationship might take 2 years. The career shift feels close, but the body transformation feels far away. These mismatched timelines create an internal dissonance that your subconscious reads as confusion. And confusion is the enemy of manifestation more than doubt is. Doubt at least has a clear shape. You can work with it, dissolve it, reframe it. Confusion is fog. Your subconscious can't act on fog. The solution is to collapse your timelines into a single window. You pick one point in the future, 6 months, a year, whatever feels like a stretch without feeling delusional. And you place all of your manifestations at that point, every single one. This forces your subconscious to stop ranking them by perceived difficulty and start treating them as a package. The relationship arrives, with the money arrives, with the career, arrives with the body. One delivery, one signature. This feels uncomfortable at first because your logical mind wants to sequence things. It wants to say, get the money first, then the relationship will be easier, then you'll have time for your health. That sequencing instinct is the same compartmentalization, wearing a different mask. It fragments your energy just as effectively. The people who manifest across multiple areas simultaneously have stopped sequencing. They've stopped saying, once I have this, then I'll focus on that. Everything is now. Everything is the same version of them. The timing takes care of itself once the identity is unified, because the subconscious doesn't differentiate between life categories the way your conscious mind does. It only knows one thing: who you are. And who you are either includes all of it or it doesn't. There's a third piece that rarely gets discussed: emotional bandwidth. Every big manifestation you're holding requires a certain amount of emotional real estate. The desire itself takes up space. The doubt takes up space. The impatience takes up space. The excitement takes up space. When you multiply that across 4 or 5 major life goals, you're running an emotional operating system at maximum capacity with no margin for disruption. One bad day, one rejection, one unexpected bill, and the whole thing wobbles. The fix is counterintuitive. You reduce the emotional charge on each individual desire. This sounds like it contradicts every manifestation teaching you've encountered. Feel it deeply. Feel it as if it's already real. Burn with desire. That advice works beautifully for a single focused intention. For multiple simultaneous ones, that level of intensity per desire becomes unsustainable. The math simply breaks. Instead, the emotional posture shifts from burning desire to quiet knowing. Each manifestation drops from a 10 on the intensity scale to about a 4, calm certainty, settled expectation. The kind of feeling you have about things you've already ordered online. You know they're coming, you're looking forward to them, but you're not checking the tracking number every 11 minutes. That composed energy scales. Burning intensity doesn't. And something interesting happens when you lower the charge. The resistance drops proportionally. High emotional intensity around a desire also amplifies the fear of losing it. Quiet knowing carries almost no fear signature at all. Your subconscious stops treating each desire as a high-stakes bet and starts treating it as a scheduled arrival. The whole system relaxes. Relaxation is where reception lives. So the architecture looks like this. One unified identity that naturally includes every desire. One collapsed timeline where everything arrives as a package. And a lowered emotional charge per desire that allows the system to hold all of it without overheating. There's a daily practice that locks this in. Spend 2 minutes each morning, just 2, sitting in the feeling of being the person whose life includes all of these elements. Don't visualize details. Don't list your desires. Just locate the emotional frequency of that completed life and sit there. Let it wash through your body like warm water. 2 minutes. Then get up and move through your day. The brevity matters. Long visualization sessions for multiple desires become exhausting and trigger the very overwhelm you're trying to avoid. 2 minutes of unified feeling does more than 30 minutes of fragmented goal-by-goal mental rehearsal. The subconscious doesn't need a presentation. It needs a clear signal, repeated consistently. One more thing. The guilt, the quiet voice that whispers you're asking for too much, that you should be grateful for what you have, that wanting this many things simultaneously is greedy or unrealistic. That voice sounds like wisdom. It sounds like humility. It's actually a ceiling disguised as a virtue. Gratitude and desire coexist without conflict, the same way loving the home you're in doesn't prevent you from planning the next one. The people who hold space for everything they want have simply stopped apologizing for the size of their appetite. They've realized that shrinking your desires to a manageable number is a strategy born from limited capacity, and capacity is something you build. You've been treating your ability to hold multiple manifestations as fixed, a trait, something you either have or lack. It's a skill, and you just learned the blueprint for training it.